up, guys? Hey, thanks for opting in. My name is Jason Payne. This is my beautiful wife, Heidi. And we have been married for going on 13. Next month will be a couple weeks. Will be 13 years. And we have 6 kids. Can you believe it? It's kind of crazy. So we actually, we've owned State 48 Roofing for going on 7 years now. And we want to show you guys what the good, the bad, the ups and downs and all that stuff of being a business owner and being married to a business owner and being a spouse and being a parent, right? Or mom or dad, and how to navigate all 3 of those categories well. And you can. Most people don't believe it's a thing. So what we're doing is we're throwing an event. It's on Thursday, May 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. right here outside this wall. At Scale HQ, Ellsworth and Pecos in Mesa. And we're only limiting it to about no more than 50 couples for capacity problems. But what we're doing this is actually Heidi's idea. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a couples mastermind dinner where we're going to have you guys come in. It's $100. So if you want to come, click the link below. You and your spouse get to come for $100. Dinner's included. We're going to have a wonderful, amazing dinner. And then we're going to have like an open Q&A. Right. And I'm going to have a phone number that you can text your questions to, because some people don't want to like ask that question, be like, that was my husband, he sucks. And there's like resentment, animosity, just kind of weirdness. So you can send like anonymous questions. Right. Yeah. Oh, we've done that before. And we might even put it in like a big group after dinner, like move the tables out of the side and just have a big, huge conversation about couples. I'm not doing like any crazy speakers and all that stuff. And it's not Heidi and I mic'd up on the stage either. We won't even be using the stage. It's going to be very intimate, very personable, very relatable for people that are like you. So if you're someone like us, right, married, a couple kiddos, trying to grow and scale your business and going through the thick and the thin and the crazy part of it, this is literally for you. We've done it a few times now. Right. And every single time we've heard, you changed my marriage, you changed my life. And Heidi loves throwing me under the bus. So if you want to see me get thrown under the bus, no, I'm just kidding.
It's not about that. I think the goal is to help small business owners and spouses realize like you're not alone. I think people are so afraid to talk about it. Yeah. But it is an issue that I think every small business owner has. And just helping them see that like you can make it through and you're not alone in it. Right. And so I think that was the goal in throwing it.
And I think we already had 15 couples not even a week. It was like over a weekend. Yeah. I said, hey, we're going to throw this. Here's the date. And I said, hey, DM spouse. And we already had like 15 couples already committed to coming. But like I said, so there's limited seating. So if you want to come, click the link below. Once you pay, your seat is reserved. Like I said, dude, date night is $100 anyways just for dinner. Right. This one we're going to, and I did the math. So my assistant Amy actually goes to the same therapist that we do, right? And I was talking to her. Simple math is not a flex. I'm being dead serious. I personally and Heidi combined have spent, apart from Heidi's personal stuff, but like Heidi and I together have gone to therapy over 100 hours and over $15,000 in therapy. Right. And so like the number of hours is crazy apart from the dollar amount. So we're going to share $15,000 of tips and tricks of what to do and what not to do.
Assuming some of it stuck.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how much Jason learned, right? But I'm dead serious. So we're going to share those tips and tricks. And obviously we can't share you all that value of 100 hours of therapy in a matter of, 60, 90 minutes. But it's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. It's Thursday, May 21st, right here in Mesa. Would love you to come. You don't have to be in the scale program. You don't have to be a blue collar. You don't have to be married, to be honest. But if you want to work on yourself and like what to look for in a marriage or what mistakes not to make, you don't have to have any kids. I've a couple couples already signed up that are going to get into the baby phase and they're not there yet. But like we want to make sure we don't go into this thing the wrong way, right, with the wrong approach.
Well, and I think just knowing that you can get through stuff and make it to the other side. Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of work, and I don't think that the goal is to solve anybody's problems, but just help maybe look at it from a different perspective or...
And and one of the biggest things about this, guys, just so you know, that has really helped Heidi and I is when I bring Heidi up on stage and Heidi speaks at the VIP experience at the Rap and Chat, right? I mean, people bawling their eyes out and you changed my life, you changed my marriage, you changed my perspective, and like that's what we want. We want to make an impact for your marriage. There's no pitch, right? There's zero pitch. I'm literally just covering costs for food, and to throw the event. But Heidi brought it up. It absolutely hit my soul, and we want to do this because stat that I pulled, my buddy Sean Whalen talks about 51% of marriages end in divorce. And I said, how many blue collar marriages in Arizona end in divorce? And this is the internet, but still, I mean, whatever, 49.6%.
Yeah.
So literally half. So I'm like, okay, so let's say we put 80 people in the room, 40 couples, 20 of them are going to be divorced. I don't know how soon it is, but I mean, over, a 2, 5, 10-year period, whatever.
Right.
Literally 50% of the room will be divorced. And it's like, that's defeating. And that's like, don't be that stat, right? Like, we want to help you overcome those things of like what to do. Oh, like just a couple areas or topics we're going to talk about, like radically open communication, like being very, very transparent with your communication. Something that I don't do very well that Heidi absolutely loves, which is crazy. Like I suck at it and I don't want to do it. And Heidi absolutely loves it and encourages it, is when I open up to her like a flower and I'll bawl my eyes out and be like, dude, life sucks right now, or it's hard. I literally did it last night.
Yeah.
Right. And so I want you guys to know, like, with Heidi and I and all the kids that we have and the businesses that we're doing and whatnot, like literally yesterday on the Instagram, my buddy Cam has a helicopter. He invited us to go fly around, and my kids have never been on one, nor has Heidi. So I was like, hey, let's go fly around. So we go fly around for an hour and a half. And like on the Instagram, like, oh, we're just like flying around helicopters and like all this stuff. Dude, literally that was from 5 to let's say 7. From 7:30 to 10 was one of the biggest shit shows I've ever experienced in the 13 years and the 11 years of kids that we've had together. Literally top 5 worst nights.
That's pretty bad.
Like that's the kind of shit that nobody talks about,
right?
And nobody puts on social media, but it does happen.
Routine.
Well, and like once again, and you want to kill them. You're freaking frustrated. You like want to get aggressive or physical or scream back and all those things. And by the way, that's not just with your kids. Sometimes you want to do it with your partner, and it's never okay. And we call it emotional maturity. A lot of it is if you can learn to regulate your emotions and control them and have that self-control as a freaking adult, from adult to adult and adult to children, no matter if they're 2 or 22. Those are the type of things that we're going to be going over because a lot of us are struggling with that. We're struggling with connection with our kids, right? We just throw them a freaking screen and say, hey, at least they're not bugging me, right? It's like that's like there's a time and a place for that, but that can't be your go-to, right? So any other anything else that you're going to be bringing up or talking about in particular?
No.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. No, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I usually like to let the questions kind of dictate what route we go.
Love it, yes.
Because it needs to be what people are feeling in the moment.
Well, yeah,
and struggling with.
And they might have, because I'm thinking like, okay, so when you drive here, right, you and your spouse, and like, okay, like this is gonna be kind of weird. We're talking about our marriage and our kids and like all this other stuff, and some of them are coming like, oh, they're gonna tell you you're a piece of shit, but to the spouse, to the husband or the wife, right? Or like, yeah, you need this.
Like
you need
how you show up at therapy sometimes.
Yes, when I show up and I'm like, oh shit, here we go, right? But like, you got to check your ego at the door, and there really is an opportunity to learn and to grow. And we want to share that with you guys. So like I said, if you want to come, it's $100. Click the link below, and we'll see you on Thursday, April 21st here at Scale HQ in Mesa.
May 21st.
May 21st. Try and come 24 hours ago. I dare you. Today's the 22nd, so you can't do that in April no matter what. Thursday, May 21st, 6 to 9 p.m. here in Mesa, Arizona. Click the link below. See you there. All right, Heidi Sue. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty of being married to a small business owner.
Yay.
And we do this. I want to do this way more often. We only do it probably once or twice a year off the fly, but I want to make it more of a constant thing because of how important it is. Dude, I'm telling you guys, my number one thing, I forgot who taught me this, but like your spouse is your superpower. One of my mentors probably shared it or taught me it, but like it really is a thing. When Heidi and I like are on the same page, I said this morning, like it's magical. Yeah. Like it just is. Because if you personally have to be dialed in, right? So it's you in your relationship with God, then your spouse, then your kids, then your business and everyone and everything else. But like, so let's say you are working on, and it's always in progress, right? On working on yourself. The next thing is like you and your spouse, right? Well, what does your spouse want you to do? Your spouse wants you home all the time, help all the time, work as little as possible, and make the most amount of money possible, right? Like pay the bills, do all the things. But she wants you home like crazy, and it's impossible to do both, kind of, right? And so we're going to kind of walk you guys through that. So, Heidi Sue, thanks for being on. Love having you here. It's super fun to,
I got to adjust in these chairs.
new chairs, sorry. But I want those that are listening, right? Parents, couples, maybe it's the mom of or the wife of the small business owner listening to this. Maybe the husband said, "Hey, watch this. Like, don't take this as like your husband thinks you suck. I want you to listen to the nuggets that are going to be shared today from Heidi and myself, and how it's going to help you to have you can build an amazing business, you can have a thriving marriage, and you can be present and create experiences with your kids. You can do it all, but you have to be mega freaking intentional and openly, massively communicate on what you want, how you're going to get there, and what it looks like on both sides. Because I feel like as small business owners, like the guy or the girl, right, whoever the person is that's running the business, day in and day out, they have the vision, they have the goals, they have everything dialed in, exactly what they want to do, how they want to do it, and then there's like the spouse is just like hold on for dear life, and we don't ever say, hey, like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your ambitions? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What does that look like? 1 year, 5 year, 10 year goals, and they're very, very different, right? Like, what does that look like going from? I mean, now we're aligned, but for years we weren't, right? It was just like Jason's idea, Jason's this, and Heidi's just like, I'm just
Holding on.
I'm just sitting on the tailgate, making sure I don't bounce off, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's crazy too, because when we got married, I mean, it's not like we got married and I knew what the next 5 or 10 years were going to look like. Like,
Right.
you didn't own a business when we got married. And if I recall correctly, you weren't talking about it either.
No.
Like, it wasn't even
5 years later.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even like on the table of possibility at the time. So it's weird to think of, like, I don't know, sometimes people will say things like, oh, you should have known when you married a small business owner, or oh, you should have. And it's like, how can you even prepare for that? Even if I did know, how can you prepare for it? I mean, you've been a business owner. Like,
Sure.
there are so many things that come at you that there's no warning. And a lot of the things that we've had to overcome together, like, neither one of us experienced separately, or, like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. There's no how-to manual. You just kind of find your way through. But
Yeah, no, it's a real thing, and I want you guys to understand that, like, the reason why I struggled so much with Heidi in the beginning, and I thought she wasn't, and you guys are going to hear this a lot, right? I think like Mel Robbins and some of these others that talk about this in depth about relationships and whatnot, when it comes to like blue collar small business owners, is like the sheer fact that you think, like, my wife doesn't support me, and I need to go do this and go do that, and she's being catty, and she's being petty, and she's bitching and moaning and complaining all the time, and this and that, and it's like, dude, that is your fault as the man and as the business owner. That is 100% because she does not feel seen. Write these words down. They're called trigger words, by the way. She does not feel seen. She does not feel heard, right? And so therefore, anything you do, like, it doesn't matter because she does not feel seen and heard. And so you're just gonna go do whatever the hell you want, instead of like, I have needs, and can you hear out what my needs are? Can we cater to my needs too? Because I am most of the time more than willing to cater to your needs, but then there has to be reciprocity, right? And a lot of times there's not, because as a business owner, you're like, I got to do this, and then it's like, you get one thing,
right.
right?
Well, and I think that's where I've struggled in certain phases of our marriage. You will take days off to go golfing, or you'll take days off to, like, go to the dunes, or go to, like, if it's something you want to do, you have no problem taking the day off.
Like a work conference to Florida.
Right.
For 5 days.
You have no problem taking the day off. But then if I ask for a day off to go somewhere, it's like, I don't think I can make that work. Can you find someone else? And that's where it's hard, because as the stay-at-home mom or whatever, like, I'm your automatic babysitter. But I feel like when we got to a point where I could rely on you to be that person for me too, like, hey, I want to go do this and I need you to make it happen.
Right.
Like, that was a big one for us too, where it just kind of, like, it lightens my load, and it's not hard. You're clearly capable of taking the days off, because when it matters to you, you do it, right? I think that was one that we've overcome, and it's gotten a lot better and easier.
Sure.
For us. But
and the reason why, I believe personally, is because when you have those conversations of like, hey, this is what I want to do, this is how long it's going to take, how many days, and the second, like, naturally you're like, dude, I don't want to be alone with the kids. Like, I need help in the mornings or at nights. And it's like, you're gonna be gone for 3 nights, 5 nights, right? Even if it's one night, it's like, you just mentally know. So one, a little tip here: give as much notice as possible.
Yeah.
So once you know that you need to do it's a work trip or even a play, dude. I'm sorry, you can't go have fun. Like you can be a dude or you can be a business owner and you're still allowed to go play. You're still allowed to have hobbies, right? It's okay. No, it can't be the only one thing and the number one thing that trumps your business and your marriage and your family, but you're allowed to go do epic shit. That's okay. It just is, right? But openly communicate and give notice because that way you can mentally grasp your hand. Some stuff it's literally 2 hours notice and you just got to freaking make it happen, right? But most of the time it's not. Especially if it's like no events like 24 hours later, like it's just not a thing.
Well, make it happen, but also you need to be willing if it doesn't work out to let it go too.
So the part that it comes to with hi, you say hi, guys. This is reality, bro.
You gotta
Right?
let go of my hair. You just need to
Say hello.
The lights.
See the lights. There you go. But the point being, guys, going back to that is, if I'm going to be gone for a trip, I say, hey, what do you need? And would you like me to come help out the day before, the day after? Is there something that you need to get done? And block out time. You block out time to go out of town. Can you block out time to be in town?
Right.
Like out of town, but physically here, right? And maybe it's instead of a 4-day trip, it's a 5-day trip, and you only tell your team or whoever that you're gone for all 5 days, but you're only gone 4, and you come back and you have a day to be home to help out around the house and just give mama a break, right? Let her, and it's not like she's gonna get her nails and her hair and all that stuff done. Maybe it's just like not being needed. I didn't realize that. And I'm like, it was like, oh, you're gonna get your nails done and do all this. It's not even a pamper day. She's like, I just don't want somebody to be grabbing me, touching me, clinging to me. And I mentally do not want to be responsible for little kids.
Right.
For 2 hours, 6 hours a day, an evening, by the way. We've done it before too. I've only a couple times, but I'd like go to a hotel and literally just go spend the night. I'll take care of the kids because if they're home we have kids from 4 months to 12 years old, right? And so they come in and they wake you up and you don't get solid sleep and the baby's not sleeping through the night and all the things. But and if the kids are there, the mom does not sleep solid. She doesn't because subconsciously she is responsible for them and that the maternal instinct kicks in. But like let it go stay at a hotel or go spend the night somewhere else. And that's actually a word, believe it or not, it's kind of crazy. But a lot of times it's not even that. It's like, hey, I'll take the night shift for the diapers and the feedings and all that kind of stuff. But just like I said, but that open communication, like what does that look like? Now, some women, I think all women want it, but they don't communicate that they need it. But no matter what that looks like, you got to communicate what that looks like. Some might want just like, hey, maybe I just want to go to lunch with you and reconnect. Some might say, oh, I want to go get a massage. Or some might say, I just want you to come sit at home for 3 hours and watch the kids. Right. Or so I can go run errands. If you're going grocery shopping without kids and they've gone grocery shopping with kids.
Just to be clear before you say this,
Holy
grocery
shit.
shopping is not self-care for your wife.
Yes. Does not count. It doesn't.
It's not a break.
No.
To go do a house chore.
Yeah. Or like running kids like sports practices and dance and football and all that stuff.
It's nice to do it without kids, but it does not count as a break.
It's not a break. It's we think it is, but it's not. So that's something that's really helped us is communicating. Like if you're going to go on a trip, like I have a lot of trips lined up in the next, well, they're some of them are together, some of them aren't. And I say, hey, this is what this trip looks like. Here's how many days, here's when I'm going to be gone. Some of it's church stuff, some of it's work stuff, some of it's personal stuff. Literally over the next 8 weeks. Right. And some of them are 1 day, some of them are several days. And I always keep in the back of my head, what can I do I call it lessen the blow. Right? What can you do to make it hurt less and show your spouse that she feels seen, that she feels heard, and if you don't ask, you won't freaking know.
Right. Well, and
right?
Yes, but if you're going to ask those questions, I think it's also incredibly important to mentally prepare yourself to not. I know she's like ripping my hair. To watch your reaction, because I think that a lot of women will read tone and will read just your response, right? Your body language. And if you come in harsh and hot and heated right away, they shut down. I did. I mean, anytime you had, where do you need to go? Anytime you had like a crazy reaction, I was like, forget it. It's not worth it. I can figure it out by myself.
Right.
And
touch it.
And I think that there's probably a lot of wives out there that feel that too, that it's just not worth whatever's going to transpire because when he's mad or if he doesn't get his way or I don't know. And I wish guys could be a little more in tune to their tone. I mean, I feel like you and I still kind of hit this sometimes where you're like, I'm not yelling. I'm like, you don't have to be yelling. You're still being short. You're still being like, your whole demeanor shifts.
It isn't,
and
you
we
can
feel
go
it.
octaves, but like you're still short. You're still like,
Right.
Yeah, you're still just like harsh.
And so I think that there's, if guys were more aware of that, and probably women too, but just more aware of when you bring something up, how is it being received and how am I reacting? Like, am I there to learn and understand, or am I there to defend myself? Because the way I approach that's going to be very different. Like you and I have had arguments, right, where we're both just like coming in to play defense. Yeah.
To fight.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to stop the conversations of like, I'm gonna show her what's up, or I'm gonna put her in her place. Like, dude, that ain't ever gonna end well. No. It's just not, right?
No, and just come to the conversation more curious, right? Like if you guys aren't on the same page or you don't agree about a work trip or whatever, like come in curious. Like, what is it about this trip that you don't like? What is it about, like, because maybe she is feeling something or sees something, or there's something deeper that's
curiosity
unresolved
over assumption.
Yeah.
Because I remember doing that. I would assume, and dude, I would burn. It just freaking happened last weekend. I was like, oh, I'll take the kids. I took all the kids except for the baby. The baby I was like, get the baby to sleep, get her down, get her chill, get her whatever. And most of the time she is for that like those hours. And it backfired on me, but I was like, I said I would take all the kids and I left that one and it backfired on me. I assumed that the baby would be fine. She would sleep totally cool. Like she did the last 5 days in a row.
Right.
But don't assume. And like I said, come into the conversations and just tell them up front, like, hey, I want to have a hard conversation. The other part when it comes to hard conversations and not assuming and coming with that curious mindset, that curious approach is really just understanding that like, hey, I want to have a hard conversation, but if you just come at somebody randomly and you just like because think about it, she has no idea, or vice versa, that I want to have a hard conversation right now. Like, you think my brain is just like empty and it's like, oh, I'm ready to have a hard conversation with my spouse.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's 5 a.m., doesn't matter if it's 12 p.m., doesn't matter if it's 11 p.m. Like, you need to give your spouse a heads up when you want to have a hard conversation and kind of let them know, not necessarily, you can tell them what it's about, right? So they can kind of like prepare for it, because the more prepared you're for it, nobody likes being blindsided. So don't have blindsiding conversations with your spouse. They never end well, right? And that's where like I get defensive. I'm like, whoa, holy shit. Like, you're coming at me hard. Like, what's your freaking problem? Like, take a deep breath, right?
Right.
But I really think this takes practice, by the way. This takes it took us years to figure this out.
Right.
Maybe Heidi probably already nailed down in the first like couple weeks, but it took me a couple years. But when you truly understand that, like, hey, I want to have a hard conversation. Can we do it tonight when the kids go down? If you agree to it, you freaking got to make it happen.
Right.
You do. You just have to make it happen. You have to make that hard conversation happen, and you can't fall asleep, and you can't go into it trying to get some, and like, you need to go have that hard conversation and go in with it with a check, an ego that is checked, an ego that is open and willing to like take criticism. A lot of us dudes, we can't take criticism and we just freaking snap. I was talking with my buddy a couple of days ago, and they were having a conversation. He was having a confrontation with his wife, and he just freaking went like narcissism mode on her and like totally snapped at her and was like, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, bro, you just shit the bed. You totally just missed the point. Right? Like, of course you want to respond and get pissed and defensive and defend yourself and stand up for, dude, she just wants to feel seen and she wants to feel heard. Even if she's wrong, let her feel seen, let her feel heard, and then massage that and let her like, be like, hey, this is true. This is not true. This is what I meant. This is what you and I yesterday, right? This made me feel like a piece of shit here, here, here. I'm like, dude, I was like, first of all, I'm sorry you felt that way. Not my approach at all whatsoever. Not my intention whatsoever.
Right.
And I can't, we worked on this. I can't tell her how to feel. Like, you can't feel that way. No, I can feel however I want. But it doesn't mean that the way you feel is how I meant for you to feel.
Right.
Those two different things, right?
Right.
What experiences have we gone through that have helped us kind of go overcome that part of like coming in more of curious and checking our egos and coming with like the end in mind? What does that look like? How has it helped us?
Oof.
You take her?
If you want. Um, I don't know. I think that it's it takes a lot of practice, right? The hard conversations aren't easy. They're not, and I still don't think for us that they're comfortable, right? Like it's still tricky and frustrating, and sometimes you feel like you're on this hamster wheel, right? And you're having the same conversation over and over. But one thing that I've noticed with us especially is if we're
Doing great.
having the same conversation, one of us clearly has not healed from whatever we're discussing, right? Like there's still something.
You keep bringing it up.
Right. So it's like there's still a point in there that is unresolved, and just getting more curious and digging about what is that, I think helps a lot. But I think also, and then something that I personally have had to overcome is not shutting down. Because for me, I get really frustrated. I mean, and this isn't a fair quality necessarily for me to have, but I hate repeating myself. I hate.
Who doesn't though?
Right, right. But like,
Even our kids like, why don't I repeat myself? I'm like, you're 6 or
well,
9.
it's
or whatever.
different. Yeah, it's different when I'm talking to. I just feel like adult to adult. If I matter to you, then you'll hear me when I'm saying it the first time, right? But I feel like we don't always take into account what you're going through, what you're feeling, how you're seeing that conversation. So when we come back to it again, I've had to work really hard on not shutting down and just going silent and just being like, forget this, he's not listening. Because then it just sits in me, and then it builds up resentment that comes out in a different conversation that has nothing to do with what that is, but it's still going to come out. You can't just keep shoving it down.
Sure. I think one of the biggest things that I've realized that's really helped, you like that? Something that's really helped me with that is, and that this royally. I remember the first like 4 or 5 sessions with Heidi and with our therapist. Heidi would say, Jason, this. I'd be like, okay, or I don't understand it or whatever. And the therapist would be like, what he means to say is this, and this. And I'm like, oh, Heidi. And she's like, I freaking hate you. Remember that?
So bad.
It was so bad.
I literally hate it so bad.
And we had to realize that like the way you say something might be interpreted different, right? The approach is different. And you just have to understand like it's a real thing. And it really helped me and you understand that like when you ask me to do something or we're talking about something, I might see it from a completely different way, right? Even just the other day we were talking about, I forgot what it was. It was like, oh, like this, so it was like a post or something like that. Like read this, and I'm like, oh, I know who it's about. And it's like, does she act like this? Does she talk like this? Does she do these type of things? And I'm like, and she's like, you were like, she doesn't do any of these things. And I'm like, oh no, she totally does. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And so you're like the you know what I'm talking about, right? It was like a reel or a meme on social media, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, it's like, no, this is like, no, she actually does do this, but you didn't think she did, and we just had a conversation. Right. And it's like, it was kind of crazy how that happens over and over and over again, guys, is like the way we see things, we see life through different lenses. We just do, right? Whether it's just like the sheer sexuality of like, she's a woman, I'm a man, or she's a mom and I'm a dad. Like it's just different. Right. And the roles that we play are different. One's not more important than the other, by the way. They're both needed and they're both valued. But like, you got to understand that like you have to be open. You have to openly communicate what your goals are, what your problems are, what you're dealing with, the shiz that goes on. Another thing too is don't dump on your spouse. Like just don't dump your day on your spouse. Cause a lot of like, there's a time and a place for it. And you have to communicate of like what dumping looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there are definitely times where I wish you would tell me more about your day. But yeah, again, I think there's a time and a place, and kind of checking into where your spouse is at when you get home. And we've talked about this before, right? When you come in and just kind of check in like, hey, where are you at? Sometimes we'll do like a number 1 to 10, right?
Sure.
Like 1, I'm good. 10, I'm maxed out.
Will you teach that?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like you explained this one better, but and I feel like we do like 1 to 10, right? And 10 is more like the I'm done, I'm maxed out, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed out, I can't take one more thing. And 1 is just like, hey, like I'm super chill, I'm good, it's been a great day, whatever. So when your spouse comes in and kind of gauging by number, like if you come in and I'm a 5, like I have more space for you to come in and tell me what's going on, or like even come in like, hey,
Right. Okay.
I want you to see what needs to be done around the house, but I also sometimes get frustrated when you come in and you start working on something that isn't the first thing that I want worked on.
Right.
So just coming in and openly communicating, and for you to even come in and say, hey, I noticed there's dishes and there's laundry. Is there one that you would like me to do first? And as you've started to do that, it helps because there might be something, that I would like accomplished before a certain time and I can't get to all of it. So if you come in like that, or hey, dinner hasn't been made yet, did you have a plan, or would you like me to order something?
We're gonna break this into 2 pieces right now. So what Heidi's saying is the 1 to 10 is 10 is like 1 is I'm on gas, I'm on fumes.
Oh,
like
then I did that backwards.
So it's like think of it like a gas tank.
Sorry, I did it backwards.
So the F is full, the E is empty. Like,
Okay.
hey, what's your gas tank at? Instead of saying full or empty, it's like, hey, 10 to 0. What are you? And what you can't do is you can't cry wolf. You're never out of 10 every day. You're full of shit. I don't care who you are. You're never out of 10. And you're never out of 1 either. So don't be like, I'm out of 1, I'm out of 1. Like then like, who would want to be married to a 1? If that's all you are, like every single day, like it's just simply not true. Some days are harder than others. And so that means your, like that temperature gauge or that fuel tank you're not just like when you drive it, like it's full and it's empty, but it's never always full, and it's never always empty. Right. So what Heidi's referring to, and I forgot who taught this, but we use it all the freaking time, is because when I come home, I pull into the driveway at 3 p.m., 5 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever it is. I don't know. I don't really know the details and what this is her favorite spot, huh?
Hi. Yeah.
And she doesn't. I don't know what Heidi's going through mentally. I don't know where she's at. I don't know if she's stressed out like a mofo. Maybe she wants to get some. I don't know, or somewhere in between. Or maybe she's just having a great day, just like life's just chilling, just doing kind of like right now. Our baby, right? So was psycho a second ago, right? Chill. Hold my hand. Chill right now, right? And then she'll be asleep. So like, you need to know like the temperature gauge of the fuel tank. Like, what is your spouse at? So you know how to support him or her. And it's reciprocated, right? Hey, how was work? Dude, today fucking sucked. Like today just absolute like I'm at a freaking -5. Like I don't want to do anything. I just want to go cry in the closet. And that's happened before. Normally I cry in my truck before I come inside. But not every day is like that. And some days I come in and I'm a 15, man. That doesn't exist, by the way. There's no like, you have a full tank, but you can't have more than a full tank. So like, dude, I'm a 9 or a 10. Like, hey, I'm cranking. I got energy. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go. And I was like, you're exhausted.
That's exhausting.
But the point of it being is, when it comes to that, is if just mathematically, if Heidi's like, hey, I'm a 5, I'm good, I'm chill, I'm like nothing, not like killing it, but I'm just like, I'm good. Okay, cool. So now I know how to approach a situation at home and what's going on. If she's a 1, guys, you're in crisis mode, man. If she's at a 1 or a 2 or a 3 and she's freaking struggling, you need to freaking grab your nutsack and go and help your spouse and man up and go in there and take control and take charge of the home and just start doing stuff. Start making dinner. Start helping with the kiddos. Start doing the practices. Start doing the homework. Start doing the cleaning. Start doing the laundry. Like, just start doing a ton of shit and just go ham. Now, the other part too, where it'll backfire you, is she might not give 2 shits about the laundry right now. And if you start doing it, you're like, you can never get yelled at for doing the dishes or the laundry. Not true, by the way. Most of the time you won't, but yeah. Because if she's already asked you to do something, or maybe she has, once again, open, like, hey, are you a 1, a 5, or a 10, or somewhere in between? What are you? Okay, cool. Hey, what's the most pressing thing on your mind right now that I can help eliminate or reduce or help with?
Right.
And she'll be like, there's a cockroach that's just been bugging me for the last 3 hours that I'm scared of. Will you just get rid of the freaking cockroach? And then all of a sudden, like, she goes from a 3 to an 8 because you got rid of the cockroach. Just an example, right? But like, it really is, yes or no?
Well, I was just gonna say we had that
example.
problem with mice.
Oh, we had a mouse problem at our house. We fixed it. Don't tell that story right now.
I won't.
But the point of it being, right? Give an example though of like when I came home and I'd be like, hey, and you're like a 2 or a 3 versus when I come home at 8 or a 9, and you might be a 2 or you might be an 8. Like, just what does that look like on the mother side? Heidi's a stay-at-home mom, right? So like, just seeing that 5 kids, all the schools, all the schedules, all the lunches, all the things, and maintaining the home and being the CEO of the home, like, what does that look like on the maternal side?
Really quickly, I would like to say yes, that we agreed and chose for me to stay home and do it.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay for, even though I chose that, for me to have bad days in that, right? Just like you chose to be a business owner, and it's okay for you to have days that you don't want to be a business owner anymore, right? And
Yes.
that are
Only the
hard
days
and
that end in
struggle.
Y.
Right. Because I feel like sometimes, and I think you've done this before, but not, I mean, not for a long time, but like, isn't this what you wanted? And it's like, that's never the right response when somebody's having a bad day, just FYI.
You're the one that want. Yeah, you get a lawsuit, you get an ROC complaint. You have like you have negative $5 in your bank account. You're like, this is the dream you wanted, right? It's like, dude, not wrong timing,
Right.
bad timing, bro.
Anyways, but I think one thing that at least is great for me is sometimes you'll come home and I'm super stressed, and you'll be like, either get all the kids and go to the park or for a walk, or
Just
let's go to
get 'em
Circle K.
isolated.
Either you get them out or you take over so that I can get out. And you're like,
Well,
just
explain the
go.
difference of those two real quick. Get a little more in depth of that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, when you're super stressed, right? So like if I am doing bedtime, we'll say, and I'm going head to head with one of our kids, right?
Oh.
Like somebody needs to be removed from that situation and there needs to be a reset. I cannot reset and regulate in that situation, nor can the child.
Right.
So, like when you come home from work and you see this situation happening, I don't think it matters. I don't think one way is right or wrong. It obviously is going to depend on the time of the day, right? If you're in the middle of bedtime, you're not going to load up all our kids and take them to Circle K or take them to the park.
Sure.
But you can take over bedtime and say, "Hey, why don't you go take a breather? Go take a walk, go sit in the car, jam out to music, whatever."
Dude, no joke. So Heidi'd be like, go for a walk, go for a walk. And the first like 10 times she said that, I was like, F you, I don't need to go for a
You'd
walk.
get so mad.
I would get so mad. And then what she's saying is like, hey, go take a deep breath. Like, go for a walk means literally, and she literally like, get out of the house, just walk down to the street and walk back.
Right.
Or go throw on a vest and go for a 45-minute walk and come back. I will take care of this. There's no animosity, there's no resentment, but like whatever's happening right now is not getting the job done. And you're going head to head. By the way, this could also be spouse to spouse, not just spouse to kid. And be like, hey, you know what? Be like, I want to come back and have this conversation. Make sure when you say that, you actually come back. Something I struggle with is when you say you're going to come back, like when you stop this conversation because it's not getting anywhere, when you come back and have this conversation, make sure you set a day and a time to have that, whether it's in 10 minutes or the next night or the next morning, but you need to make sure that you have it. Because then you don't, then you're basically just a liar and then you lose trust.
Right.
Which sounds kind of crazy, but it's a real thing. So,
but I think getting that 5, 10, 30-minute break or whatever, just so that I can regulate myself again and get back down to a normal state and come in and then attack whatever's happening together. But I feel like sometimes we get so dysregulated and we're still stuck in, but I have to do this. I have to push through. And like, in my opinion, that's why I got married, so that on the days that I'm not 100%, you can come in. Like we had kids together. I didn't have kids by myself.
right.
And so like the whole point of parenting is, for both of us to help and have an influence in our kids' lives. And I think not every day is going to be perfect, but being able to recognize it and then problem solve as a team and remembering that you're on the same team, right?
So to wrap up that portion of this podcast, the isolate, dude, like don't be scared to just like when you come in and you can see it on your wife's face or she communicates to you like, hey, like I had a really really freaking long day. The best thing you can do is send her food, send her candy, her treats, the desserts, send her flowers. True story. Like I'll order Applebee's. It's called a Blondie. Super good.
So good.
She loves it, and just send it to the house. Just Uber Eats it, DoorDash it, whatever to the house. But isolate. Okay, what has caused her that? Something you can't fix, right?
Right.
Certain friends, maybe neighbors, church people, whatever. But if it's like kids, okay, you can control that. Boom, isolate. So I'll literally just throw all the kids in the car and we'll just leave. Yeah, can I do that at 9 o'clock when they're supposed to go to bed? No. Or should I? No. But yeah, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock when you come home, dude, go to the park for 45 minutes or an hour. Like, a real thing. You can totally do it, and you totally should. And like I said, just that 30 minutes to an hour, that might be all your spouse needs in order to regulate and get back on track. She's just on fumes. Hey, let her go to the gas station, not literally, and just let her fill up her tank. And it's not gonna be 100% full. You're not gonna go from
Right.
an empty tank to a full tank in 10 seconds. I don't care who you are. It's just
Right.
or even 30 minutes. But at least get something back in the tank instead of just like trying to start your car. Oh, my car won't start. Car won't start. Well, you're on E. You're out of gas. It's like, no, but I'm trying to start it. It should start because it should start. No, you're on E. Let her get some goods back in the tank, and at night too, same thing. Like, hey, I'll take over bedtime routine and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be a freaking shit show, and it's me versus five or me versus four, and it is what it is. And but like she feels seen, she feels heard, and that gives you more time to connect and to really get on the same page later when and she can trust you knowing that like, hey, he can't put down the 1 to 5 kids, and that if I leave, the house isn't gonna blow up or whatever. By the way, if you're a dude, like I heard this, I'm gonna tell you guys how I heard this, like men struggle with like watching their own kids nowadays. Like a women's retreat that's trying to happen, and like all these men are turned a bunch of pussies, and like they can't even watch their own kids. And it's a freaking joke, absolute freaking joke, in my opinion. Um, but really, that's what it comes down to is like, dude, isolate the situation, isolate the problem, and like regulate yourself. Because if it doesn't help, if you're out of 10 and your spouse is out of 10, fighting wise, dude, ain't nothing. There is no realistic. What's the word I'm looking for? Like no conversation. You're not going to get any true results,
Right.
any good results. Nothing good is going to happen if you're both out of 10 or at an 8.
Right.
But recognizing that you're at a 10 or at an 8, or both of you are, that's where domestic violence happens, and that's where physical part gets there, or things you shouldn't say, or bring up the past, or those mega daggers that you can't take back, happen when you're at an 8, 9, or a 10.
Right.
You, like, understand that you're there, be like, hey, I need to go for a walk, or like, hey, we need to end this conversation and bring it back later. Then you can regulate yourself, and both of you can come back and have a realistic conversation. With purpose when you're at a 3 or a 4 or a 5, yeah. Right? And so it might only need 10 minutes to happen, right? And that's really what it comes down to, and that's really helped us is when you get frustrated or with your kids. Hey, you know what? You're frustrated. I'm frustrated. Let's go to the park, or let's go for a walk, or I'm gonna go for a walk, or go read a book, or I'm gonna go go take a shower, or go jump at the pool, or whatever, and let's go back and talk in 20 minutes, 30 minutes later tonight, tomorrow morning, this weekend,
Right.
whatever. But once again, you have to have that open communication, but you have to understand that like emotional maturity is probably the sexiest thing on planet Earth. Like, even last night, right? Like yes or no? Literally last night, like I said, one of the hardest nights I personally have ever had, and I've been a dad for almost 16 years, and top 5 hardest nights I ever had was literally last night, guys. It's a real thing, and I was struggling, but I applaud my wife because I'm like, what would Heidi do right now? Like she would, it's called a pattern interrupt. She's like, I would be like, hey, let's go play a game, or hey, let's like just start laughing, start making jokes, and start playing around. When you really just want to cry, or you want to get physical, and
or you just want your kid to know that you're in charge.
and not a power struggle though, right?
Well, I feel like sometimes that's what you're fighting for is like dominance of I'm the parent, you're the kid, you will listen to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like we grew up with parents that taught us that, right? Like you will do what the adult says.
Like a dictatorship.
Or they assume that your kid is like trying to manipulate you, right? And I'm like, I feel like as I've looked at our kids more and their breakdowns more of they're fighting for control too. It's like, is me letting them have that snack even though it's past bedtime? And I'm not, maybe that's a horrible example, but like sometimes they need to do things to calm their nervous system too, right? And it doesn't mean that they're manipulating me and that they won and that, which I think is a really hard one for you to overcome.
Even last night.
Yeah.
Last night, I made macaroni and cheese, and that was the option for dinner. And then someone wanted to have cereal. I said, okay. And then Cash wanted They got in a fight. You're not supposed to have balls in the house, and they had a volleyball, and they freaking launched an entire full bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and launched it over the kitchen. So Cash is freaking out. I was like, dude, go get another bowl. He's like, I don't want a bowl. I want a bowl of cereal. I want something else now. And I'm like, but we're doing macaroni. We're doing cereal. And he's like, I want mini pancakes. I want mini pancakes. Mini pancakes. Yeah. And my old self was like, no, MFer, you are going to eat your cereal. Go get a bowl of cereal, or eat the macaroni and cheese, or freaking go to bed. Starving. Right. Go to bed. Call it a night, and let's try again tomorrow. Right? And I tried and tried and tried. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and he was still like, I want the mini pancakes. And the Heidi, the hours and dollars of therapy kicked in from Heidi and I going back and forth about this, and it was like, he like truly sit down. What is he asking? He just wants pancakes.
Right.
And my ego's like, no, he can only have these two things because I said so, and I said it 3 times, and if I go against that, then I'm a pussy, or he's walking all over me, or whatever, and I'm like, that's actually not the case. So I feel like I don't have any teeth yet because I grinded them all down yesterday. Just like my jaw is like sore from like clenching my jaw so much. Yes or no?
Yeah.
And I made the freaking mini pancakes, and then I had this beautiful, amazing daughter of God named Remy, who tests me more than any freaking human on planet Earth.
It's because you two are the same person.
Same person.
Literally the same person.
And she was being a freaking pill last night. I mean, like Satan's offspring. It was so bad. So frustrating. Joe, this is the real, like, you guys want to hear it real? Like, this is what it is.
You know what the best part is that most people that know her kids won't even believe that she has that side.
Oh my gosh. Like, oh, she's
the best. She's so kind.
She's a great sharer.
Which
she's
she is. She totally is all those things.
She is all those things. She can also be Satan's offspring. And last night she was. And we were talking, and she wanted 2 grilled cheese. So once again, and she's the one that threw the freaking volleyball with Oakley to knock over an entire bowl of cereal that got everywhere and caused all this. And now she's throwing stuff, and she's kicking stuff, and I'm ready to throw and kick her, right? And I'm like, don't get physical, don't get physical, don't get physical. And she's screaming at me and mad and yelling, and I'm doing every fiber of my being to keep my cool, stay chill, stay calm, regulate my 39-year-old male emotions and thoughts versus the 9-year-old, right? Sometimes we're 39 and we act like we're 9. It's like, dude, just because she's 9, you're 39 doesn't mean you can go and act like a 9-year-old. Well, she's doing it, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Knock it up.
Right.
You good? All over the place. And she wanted 2 grilled cheese. So sure enough, I make the mini pancakes, and she comes at me and she's like, "Fine, I'll make my own grilled cheese." And I'm like, I'm literally I'm making it for 5 people right now. Like, I'm working on it. Heidi had the baby, putting the baby down, feeding her. And so I make the cereal, I make the macaroni and cheese, I finally make the mini pancakes that I didn't want to make. And I literally was like, Remy, I'll make them for you. I just needed like one thing at a time. Like, I'll make you the grilled cheese. So, mad, bloodshot eyeballs. I'm here and I'm making these grilled cheese. And the last thing I wanted to lock her in a room. I wanted to turn lights off and say, you can freaking starve and eat tomorrow. That's every part of me, apart from getting physical with her, because she was destroying her house and just beating the crap out of everybody except for the baby, even the dog. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, this is like, but like I said, controlling my emotions, being an emotionally mature dad and human, I just made the grilled cheese. And sure enough, she didn't say thank you for the MFN grilled cheese. She didn't say thank you for the damn thing.
She didn't, but after she ate, she literally went and put herself to bed.
But listen, so we'll end the podcast on this, cool? So what happened? Are you done, though?
Do you want me to take her?
No, I won't. No, because I want you to talk.
Oh.
What?
Can I take her?
Why? No, that's why I wanted to take her, huh? No, but I want you to share because I wasn't there. She said, "Can we talk later?"
Yes.
And she was going head to head with Heidi. Heidi almost killed her too. And so, tell her. So I made the grilled cheese. She had the grilled cheese. Everybody else is doing whatever, getting ready for bed, winding down. And don't forget, I'm ready to kill her, and I'm pissed, and I am like, I'm at a hot 10. Heidi's probably at a hot 7 or 8, maybe even a 10 too.
Maybe.
You're a little less.
Maybe 6.
You're a little less than I was.
I laugh now as like a trauma response. So I
But
was a
share
little
what
less
happened
mad.
because I didn't scream. I'm telling you guys, this isn't a flex. I'm showing you like something that I've worked my freaking butt off to do better at and do really well at. Share with them because I didn't get physical, and because I didn't scream and match her emotions. After she got the 2 grilled cheese, and now it's like 9:15, 9:30. What was the conversation? You went into the bedroom with her. What was the
She
conversation that had?
she asked if I could come in and talk to her. And I have tried a bunch to make sure that my kids have time to tell me how they're feeling, what they're going through. Um, but I try not to engage in that conversation when they're at a 10 because then they're saying things they can't take back. And so we've tried really hard to recognize in the moment, um, because I know you've gotten them too, but like I get the I hate you, you're the worst mom ever. I want a new family, right? Which they don't mean. It's just their tiny little body with so many emotions they don't know how to unpack. So I always try, and even in the heat of things, sometimes I'll be like, "Can you take a deep breath? Do you want a hug? Um, can you go for a walk and come back? And then can we talk about it later?" Or just even in the heat of all of it, please let me know when you're ready to talk to me kindly. I would love to have a conversation with you. um, and I think with our kids, the first two things that I check is, are they tired, are they hungry, right? Because none of us function well without food or tired. So feeding her finally getting, I'm pretty sure she's the one that asked for macaroni and cheese, but um and I think kids
She
too
had
have,
dance. We went and did a thing as a family, not with her. We did some stuff.
because she used to
So
dance.
she didn't eat, maybe just snacks at best, but no legitimate food. Then she had dance for 2 hours. Then comes home, and then we're dealing with this. Now it's 7:30,
Yeah.
7:45, 8 o'clock. And she hasn't truly eaten anything, so we knew like she's hungry. Like always double check. Now this is maybe
Right.
it's because it's the pain gene. Look at these things right here. Boop, boop. Maybe it's the pain genes, but like uh, that's a real thing, and that's for humans and adults, teenagers, kids. Like, are they tired and or hungry? And if they're tired, just understand like they just literally want to close their eyes and go to bed. They just don't know how to like communicate
Right.
that. And if they're hungry, they won't say I'm starving. Oakley is one of those like if he's being a tool, I'm like bro, go eat something. He hasn't. It was like or he skipped a meal or he didn't eat all of his food or he didn't eat lunch at school today or
Right.
whatever. I can tell. Normally, it's one of those two things that'll help regulate or make things less
Yeah.
for sure. Because once she ate, what happened?
She went in a room and she calmed down pretty well on her own, and then asked if we could have a conversation. And in our conversation, once she's calm, she's doing a lot better at noticing, I don't know why I got so mad. Like when you ask her, what were you mad about? She's like, I don't really know. But I think it's just their body fighting for any bit of control. So they push you on everything, hoping you'll react, right? Because even as adults, right? Like sometimes when I go into conversations heated, I'm not listening to anything you're saying. I'm literally
Right.
listening to respond. So I listen for that one little thing that I can throw back on you, and that's literally what is happening with little kids and meltdowns, in my opinion. Um, but
Right.
just being able to calm down, and she apologized for the mean things she said. She apologized for getting hot in it, and it's nice too to be able to tell her, like, I know you don't mean those things. I do that too. I don't mean those things when I'm mad, but that's why we've got to learn how to calm ourselves down sooner, or not say things when we're that hot, right? Because you don't get to take those things back. And even though I know she didn't say it, it still hurts to hear you're the worst mom ever. I know it's not true, but it's still, you know, in the heat of those, sometimes it is really hard.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't know. I can't, as an adult, help my children to regulate themselves if I don't do the work to also regulate myself, right?
And I'll end on this too, or at least my last thoughts here as we wrap up the podcast is I I suck at this, and I realize it's really helpful. Is after that meltdown, that blow up with your spouse, with your kids, um, make sure you go back and you check in the next day. Hey, thank you for talking with me last night. Hey, is there anything that you left on the table from our conversation last night that you want
Right.
to finish? Like going back and have that, and it could be no, I'm good, or it's like no, hey, I really well. And even just acknowledging that the conversation happened and it didn't end well, right? Like Heidi and I take baths a lot together weekly, and it really helps us just to decompress and regulate. They're non-sexual. They're just there to communicate and connect and get on the same page with work, personal, kiddos, finances, all the things. And sometimes, um, no, not always, but sometimes it's like, I'm getting out. F off. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, you know what? I'm out. But, or I'm like, or she'll hit a trigger and I'm like, yeah, I need a minute. And I'll just get up and get out of the bath. But when, but afterwards, any conversation like that, good or bad, go back and finish. Just a quick little, hey, thanks for talking to me last night. Thanks for, I know it was hard, I know it sucked. Thank you for, call it sitting in the suck. Thank you for sitting with me in the suck and hashing it out and having that. Thank you for having that hard conversation with me. A lot of times when the conversation's over, then it's like, who's going to talk first?
Right.
Who's going to break the ice?
Right.
Like, and it doesn't matter who it is. But do not always let it be that one person. Don't make, remember this, how do you get pissed? She's like, I always have to bring it up. I always have to have the conversation. I always have to bring up the hard conversation. I'd be willing to have it. I would.
Yeah.
But I would be like, well, I'm not going to say anything until she says anything. I'm like, dude, you're a petty little bitch, man. Like, dude, be the man and be willing to have it goes both ways, though. It doesn't matter if you're the male or not. Like, she's sleeping? Is she really falling asleep? I don't know.
Holding on to your bracelet.
That's fine. It's because
It's your favorite spot. She wants to scale it.
She wants to scale. She wants to scale, dude. She wants to scale her feeding. Jeez Louise, look at this thing. She's freaking heavy. Like, Jason, you're strong. Like, I have kids. I don't work out. I just hold babies all day. No. But the point of it being, guys, is when you truly understand that, like, don't be scared and be willing to have the hard conversations, knowing that they're going to suck, they're going to be hard, they're not going to be fun, but they're 1,000% necessary. By the way, don't be scared to have hard conversations with yourself. A lot of us, we don't want to. We look in the mirror like David Goggins, man in the mirror, right? Analogy. And we're terrified to look in the mirror because we don't want to have the hard conversations with ourselves of we are letting ourselves go, or we're addicted, or we have a vice, or we don't want to have that hard conversation. Whatever it is. Like, be willing to have that hard conversation with yourself, and then be willing to have that hard conversation with your spouse. And be willing to have hard conversations.
Sorry, she's just cute.
She's cute. Take a picture.
Well, and come back and do the repair also. Just repair. Just repair afterwards, right?
First podcast with the wife. Yes, that's how it ends.
Oh, I don't like your phone.
You don't like my phone?
No.
What's wrong with my phone?
Because I don't know how to use it with the new update. I refuse to do updates. I don't know where portrait mode is on yours.
Live's on the podcast, guys. Here it is.
Sorry, while you're trying to make your big old point. Literally her favorite spot.
Yeah, this is a favorite spot. But, like I said, be willing to have the hard conversations. So, if you're listening to this and the Scale Mastermind Dinner is already over, wonderful, not a problem. If not, come join us. But we're going to be doing that probably on a quarterly basis, just because a lot of us need it, and a lot of us aren't having it, and that's why 50% of us end divorced.
Well, and I think there's probably a lot of business owners going through very similar things that you could relate to. But I think the goal when we were talking about it was just give people a space where they can just come and open up about it, no judgment. And I mean, this has been something that's been tricky for me because I don't like being an open book.
Sure.
You've kind of shoved me out of my comfort zone in that aspect, right? Doing these or going up on stage, or I've always just kind of been a closed book, and I don't let a lot of people in, and just realizing that doesn't help anybody. And it does suck to talk about it, but I've always appreciated, like, after the fact when there is that one person that comes up and was like, hey, I really needed to hear what you said today, or what you said really helped my thinking, my whatever. Like, that's the goal, right? It's not to get on here and, I mean, we still have our issues constantly and things that we've talked about multiple times in therapy that still come up because we all have our cycles and our thought patterns and our ways that we do things that we're trying to break. And it is a constant thing. It's not like, oh, I finally figured this out. Now it's not a problem, right? Like it's just constantly investing in yourself and in your spouse and in your marriage, right? And even as a parent, like I want to constantly invest in my relationship with my kids so that when they are adults, they want to come back home and hang out with us or, because I'm sure there's tons of us out there who have parents that we don't want to see, that we don't want to hang out, that we don't want to be around, or that don't want to be around us, or that don't invest into us. And it's like, I don't want that. I've worked really hard as a mom. Like I want them to want to come and be with us. And it's been really cool to watch both of us work on that so that that goal is.
I would encourage you to invest in, there's basically like 3 different categories for lack of better words, right? Like invest in your family, like your marriage, right? Invest in yourself, like personal development, and then invest because Braven Grant was talking about he's invested like $1.5 million. But he's not like 40. He's like 28. I don't even think he's 30 yet, and he's invested literally 7 figures into personal development, which is huge. And a lot of us, most of the easy one is like, oh, I invested so many hours and so much money into my business. That's good. That's great. That's wonderful. Do that, and that's what scale is for, and all these other things. But like the personal development side, how often are you listening to podcasts and the scriptures and going to church and working on yourself and your relationship with God? How much time and money, nobody really brags about the hours that they do that because most people don't do it at all or enough to even brag about it.
Right.
But the one that reason why this podcast is very sincere to my heart and hits hard is there's nothing to do with business directly, right? But like, how much have you invested into your marriage? And I shared with you guys over 100 hours and $15,000 in the last 24 months.
Right.
So out of 13 years, that's apart from all the other BS, which actually wasn't a lot, to be honest.
Right.
But like, don't be scared to invest in your marriage, whether it's counselor, whether it's therapy, whether it's retreats, whether it's, whatever, right? But don't be scared to invest that time and money into your marriage. Cause I'm telling you, if you have 50% chance of in a divorce, that's a huge stat. It's not 1 out of 10. It's literally 5 out of 10. That's it's scary. And I don't believe anybody goes into marriage to get divorced, but it's so easy to get divorced nowadays. And to be the victim and play the woe is me card that like make it a goal. And Heidi talked about like, I remember you saying this all the time. Do I get married to get divorced?
Right.
Like divorce is not an option, so you better throw that shit out the door. Like that's not happening. Like
You're stuck.
Yeah, like figure it out, make it happen, right?
Right. Well, and I didn't get married to parent by myself either, and I didn't get married to. I don't know. Like we both got married for a reason, and I feel like sometimes when we're in the thick of it, you kind of go back to that, right? Like why did I fall in love with you? Right. What and you change, right, throughout your marriage and businesses and all those things. You're gonna grow into hopefully better people, but like I don't know, just go back to the basics, as they say sometimes.
There you go. Okay. Heidi H Pains on Instagram.
Oh God, don't.
If you want to shoot her a DM, she loves getting DMs, loves hearing from you guys. She really doesn't, but you can. She actually will respond to you. She won't like blacklist you. She'll probably be like, "Who the crap is this person?" She does that on a daily basis. Like, who is it? Who's this person trying to befriend me? And I'm like, dude, like they're cool. Like, let them in. And she's like, nope. Or it might take a few tries.
Or my Mrs. Jason the Roofer one.
Or Mrs. Jason the Roofer. That's also a good one too. And then but love, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for putting our baby to sleep.
Hey, that's what I do. That's how I roll. Appreciate you being on here, and I hope this helps somebody. Share this with a friend. Share this with your spouse, in a kind, endearing way. And we'll see you in the next one. Adios.